Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. समस्तजन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Hरि Om. Salutations to all. My audio is clear. You can message on the chat. So, here in this fifth canto, we saw the prasang of Raja Bharat, how he becomes Jad Bharat, and then how he gives the Upadesh to Raja Rahugana, and last chapter that we saw was chapter number 13 and 14, where he gives the analogy of where he compares the samsara to the forest, Bhava Atavi. And after that, Shukdev Maharaj gives the whole symbolism also of that, properly explains that, what is the significance of that analogy and different aspects of it. And finally, we see that Bharat Raja, Jad Bharat now, he leaves. Rahugana also realizes the truth. Bharat Raja, Jad Bharat, it is said that nobody can follow mentally the example of that great royal sage Bharata any more than a fly can think of emulating the speed of the Garuda. So, having said that, now we were seeing the lineage of Priyavrata Raja as the descendants of Priyavrata Raja. So Uttanapada and Priyavrata, Uttanapada's children are Dhruva and Utkala, and like that we saw that list. Uttama and Dhruva, and then from there Dhruva's lineage we saw. That section got over in 4th canto. Then Priyavrata Raja, his lineage started in the 5th canto. And in his lineage we saw Bharat Raja. So further after that, and then Bharat Raja's whole life we saw, and 3 lives of his we saw. Now Bhagavatam continues again from Priyavrata Raja's lineage. So here he says that Shukdev ji says in this 15th chapter that we already spoke about the eldest son of Emperor Bharat, Sumati by name, who followed in the footsteps of Lord Rishabha. So Rishabdev ji, he lived a very great life. All of us saw about that. Sumati is the son of Bharat Raja. He follows the footsteps of Rishabdev ji, but it is said that certain people who are non-believers, who are heretics, who don't have respect for Vedic tradition, according to their perverted thinking in the Kali Yuga, they may call him as an avatar or even as Buddha. Then a son, Devatajit, was born to this Sumati. So I'm going to share here one image which has the whole Vamsha, because this chapter has up to King Gaya. It keeps saying this person is the husband, this is the wife, this is the son, to him this is the wife, this is the son, it goes on. So here you will see that. So now see this. So Priyavrata and Barhishmati. To them Agnidra and 9 sons. So 10 sons were born. And the daughter Urjaswati. To his second wife Uttama, Tamasa and Raivata. Now to Agnidra, Nabhi and other 8 sons. To Nabhi, Rishabdev. Rishabdev, Bharat and other 99, 100 children were born to Rishabdevji. Bharat Raja's life we saw. This chapter speaks about the kings from here. So Sumati plus Vriddha Sena, to them Devatajit is born. To Devatajit and Asuri, Devadyumna plus Dhenumati. Devadyumna is born. Devadyumna plus Dhenumati, then Parameshti is born. Parameshti and Suvarchala. So plus are the wives. Then Pratiha plus Suvarchala. These two are two different Suvarchalas, okay? Just the name is the same, but they are two different women. Then Pratiha. To Pratiha and Suvarchala, this Pratiharta, Prastota and Udgata. These three are supposed to be very great experts in the Vedic yajnas. So then to Pratiharta and Stuti are born Aja, Bhuma. Then Bhuma and Rishikulya. See, so Aja may not have married. So his Vamsha stops there. Then Udgita and Devakulya. To them, this Prastava. Now Prastava and Niyutsa. To them Vibhu is born. And Vibhu and Rati, Prithusena and Akuti. To both of them, then Nakta. Now Nakta and Dhruti. To them is born Gaya. This much lineage first we will see. So this much they have explained. Now, who is this Gaya Raja? He is supposed to be an Amsha of Bhagavan Vishnu himself. He is a great king. And some beautiful verses are given about that Gaya Raja. So it is said, Savai Swadharmena Rajapalana Poshana Prinana Upalalana Anushasana Lakshanena Ujyadina cha Bhagavati Mahapurushe Paravare Brahmani. Like that one description is given. This whole thing is a prose description where we find that he is little ahead of that also we should see actually. Mahapurushatam Praptaha. So he is a very exalted person, Raja Gaya. So he is very exalted. Why? Because of these qualities that he has. What are these qualities? First is Raja Rishi Pravaraha. He is great amongst the royal kings. So Raja Rishi and Brahma Rishi, two different categories are there in our culture. Brahma Rishis are those who are realized beings, and they may serve as a some as a guru or an advisor to some king, etc. Or they may live also by themselves alone in solitude, or they share this knowledge. Brahma Rishi are realized beings. Raja Rishi also, they are realized beings, or they are very highly advanced, and they are serving in the capacity of advising some kings. One possibility, Raja Rishi. So Vishwamitra was a Raja Rishi for some time, and then he became a Brahma Rishi. Raja Rishi also means those who were kings who then became rishis, who were earlier kings who ruled very dharmically, and then they did their sadhana, then they renounced also, and then they realized the truth. So that is also Raja Rishi. So amongst the Raja Rishi, saintly royal order, he was most exalted. Udara Shravaha, very famous as a very pious king. Udara is pious, very generous, pious king. And he is a Amsha of Bhagwan Vishnu, expansion of Lord Vishnu, who appeared for protecting the universe and has attained transcendental knowledge, also self knowledge. Now, how was his rule? So, I was reading the seventh one actually. Savai Swadharmena, as per his Swadharma. What was he doing? Praja Palana Poshana. So, he was engaged in ensuring that he nurtures, nourishes, protects his praja. As a king, he was doing his duty beautifully. Poshana, he was ensuring that they get proper food, etc. Then Prinana, distributing gifts to the citizens, doing dan, dharma, charity. Then Upalalana, so he was conducting meetings, ensuring that things are taken care of, organized properly. And he was also speaking sweetly to his citizens. Anushasana, he was giving them good instructions, discipline, and how to become, better citizens, how to make the country a developed country, all that. He was guiding them basically as a great leader. Then Ijja, who is performing sacrifices as recommended in the Vedas. So spiritual education, personal development, community growth, all that he was guiding them very nicely. And he was also a great devotee of Bhagwan. So it is said he had fully surrendered to Bhagwan and filled with love through Bhakti Yoga, which is achieved by service of the devotees. So he used to serve the devotees. No body identification. So free from this body identification also. Nirabhimana eva avanim ju gupat. So he does not have this pride that I am this king, I am such a great king, and these are all citizens. He doesn't have any such false pride, doesn't have body identification. That's why he has Brahmagyan. And so that way he ruled and he protected this whole earth. Now, those who know this Raja Gaya and how he ruled and how he was having these great qualities, so they sing some of his praises. So from 8th shloka onward, that comes. Tasyemam gatham pandaveya puravid upagayanti. So the people who are well versed in the Puranic stories and the kathas, they sing the glory of Raja Gaya. So what do they say? Gayam nripakka pratiyati karma कर्मभिः यज्वाभिमानी बहुवृद्धिर्मगोप्ता बहुविद्धिर्मगोप्ता समागत श्रीसद सस्पति सताम सत्सेवकोन्यो भगवत्कलामृते. So this King Gaya, he is a Amsha avatar of Bhagwan Vishnu. So it is said, other than a part manifestation of the Lord, could dare to emulate by his deeds Gaya. Means who other except some Amsha avatar of Bhagwan alone can match. Means Gaya himself is Amsha avatar. Some other Amsha avatar alone can match this glory of this great Gaya. That's the meaning. Why? Be he a great sacrificer, a high-souled man of extensive knowledge, a defender of righteousness, one who is wooed by the goddess of fortune, the leader of an assembly of holy men, and a true servant of pious souls. These are all some of his qualities. So he used to perform so many Vedic rituals. He is respected by all. He is learned in scripture. He is a protector of dharma. Samagata Shri, possessor of all kinds of wealth, opulence. then leader among gentlemen, and servant of the devotees. Other people are singing the glory of this Gaya, Raja Gaya. And he also receives blessings from the daughters of Daksha Prajapati. So their blessings, they bathed Gaya with great satisfaction. Earth would consider Gaya, King Gaya, as her own uh, child, as a calf. Mother Earth takes the form of a cow. This Gaya Raja is like a calf. So looking at the calf, how the cow, her udders are flooded with milk. In that way, it is said that earth, her udders flowed upon seeing Gaya's good qualities, which were like a calf for the earth. Thus, she satisfied all the desires of his citizens, meaning earth was bringing out bountiful. Remember earlier, in the fourth canto, it came during Prithu Raja's description that earth had withdrawn her vital energy, and so the seeds, etc., were not sprouting properly, and people were not having enough food to eat because there was a lot of adharma happening during Vena Raja's time, and then after Vena Raja died, these thieves and dacoits, they took over, and so earth withheld her nurturing, nourishing capabilities, and it was not producing enough grains. In this kingdom of King Gaya, earth is happy and nurturing, nourishing, fulfilling all the desires of the citizens. So you see, in our scripture, there is a big connection between dharmic rule and the natural forces, which is why the king has a very, very important role and responsibility. If the king is dharmic, nature will be very supportive. See, as per whatever the natural cycles or various other karmic factors, sometimes drought, flood, those things can happen. It's not that in a dharmic Raja's rule, nothing of that will ever happen. That may still happen. But when the rule is dharmic, there is much more harmony in nature, which will influence the citizens also. When there is adharma, then nature will behave in a different way, and the earth withdraws its powers, and many things, as we see, it comes in Bhagavatam. So, dharma and Raja and Praja, they are very deeply interconnected. If Raja is dharmic, the Prakriti, so Dharma, Raja, Praja, Prakriti, four things, they are very deeply connected. If Raja is dharmic, Prakriti will follow all its beautiful rules, and potentials of potentials of the Prakriti will manifest, and the Praja will be happy. Praja also has to follow Dharma. Both Raja and Praja have to follow Dharma. Now, Raja is dharmic, Praja is not dharmic, again, benefits will not come. So, both have to be very, very careful. Each one influences the other. And so, Bhagavatam and various other scriptures, you will see that connection is very powerful. It's not only about economic prosperity through job creation or employment or protection of boundaries and borders, and increasing of foreign reserves and all that. That is one aspect. But if the dharma is not maintained, harmony, selflessness, having this attitude of service, putting others before the self, all that, when it is not there, then even if there is economic prosperity, etc., very soon that will only bring more disturbance, disharmony. We are seeing that happening in so many countries in the world. When there are countries where there is great material prosperity, but if dharma is not followed, it doesn't work. And by dharma, I don't mean a religion. Dharma is a universal values in this context, which binds this whole creation together. Dharma also means the vision of oneness, the vision of love, the vision of service. If all that is not followed, then selfishness rules the roost. I, me, and mine. And I don't respect others, and I feel they don't deserve even to exist, and it is justified that if they don't follow your path, then you can kill them, convert them. That is not a source of prosperity. Our culture says live and let live. We have no right to take somebody's life when we can't give life. So, as a sadhak, one should know. As a king, one should follow. So, here one sees that everybody is satisfied. Raja Gaya, how he rules. And if you see one common thread, all these rulers, kings who are there, they are deeply religious as well as spiritual. Actually, religious is enough to say because spirituality is a part of religion only. It's not something separate. So they knew the philosophy as well as they were practicing the rites, rituals, and samskaras and all that. Subjective and objective science both were going hand in hand. Today, unfortunately, we are saying religion and spirituality, we have created separation. Then we are saying state and religion, so called secularism, we are separating it out. But that is not how the vision of Bharat has been. Spirituality, religion is ingrained in every aspect of life in Bharat. In art, music, science, culture, management, leadership, everywhere. It is based on our scriptures. Now we forgot that. Now we are looking at the West and we are importing their models of management and their models of whatever, even music, dance, art, copying all their entertainment shows. One should have anchoring in our culture. So here it is. So Earth was also very happy. Daksha's daughters have given blessings to Gaya, Raja Gaya and the Praja. Then it is said that the Vedic rituals yielded all desire to Gaya, who himself had no personal desire, but it will be for the well-being of the society. Kshatriyas were satisfied with the dharmic fighting of Gaya, and they would offer tributes to him. Very interesting how he satisfied different sections of the society, not by appeasement. So many things we can learn from the scriptures. Keep giving freebies, keep doing appeasement politics. That is not the way to rule, actually. That will only bring the country down. Empower them more and more rather than making them dependent by giving freebies and making them dull and weak. Where required, Dan Dharma has to be done. That we saw he does. But one can't build a whole society based on freebies. It doesn't work. And somebody is paying for it, no? How long will that go on? There has to come a balance in the society where everybody is working hard. So here it is said, that the Vedas as well as the Vedic rites yielded to him all the enjoyments, even though he was free from cravings. Again, honored by him with the volley of arrows on the battlefield, hostile kings brought him rich tributes. See, even hostile kings brought him rich tributes because he would fight with dharma only. He will not do adharmas and do anything to win somehow. No. So, then the Brahmanas, when propitiated with righteousness, the scrupulous performance of his sacred duties yielded to him in other world 1/6 of the blessings earned by them. Brahmanas were happy to give 1/6 of their merit, punya karma, to Gaya Raja for his afterlife. How much he would have ensured that the Brahmanas are encouraged, their rituals they are able to do. Their Veda Pathshalas are given proper grants and other things. So the Brahmanas are happy to give 1/6 of their punya. Then Indra, the chief of gods and the lord of paradise, got inebriate at his sacrificial performance, where lots of libations of Soma were offered. Means Indra himself used to come and drink the Somaras in the yajnas of Raja Gaya. So that is his glory, that the king of gods used to come and drink this somras. Now, please remember, somras is not alcohol, somras is not some intoxicating drink made from some weed or cannabis or anything like that. Soma plant is a very different plant. Today it is not available. So if anybody says somaras we will make, not possible actually. Soma plant, it's a creeper. It has got extinct now. And this somaras is supposed to be highly energizing drink, not some intoxicating drink that one will fall down. No, no. It is highly energizing, and a human being cannot consume much of it. They don't have the capacity for digesting that. The devatas will consume from that somras, a certain essence will be taken up by the devatas, and what is left then is consumed by the humans as a yajna prasad, yajna shishta. So Somayagas were done for that. To propitiate the devatas, devatas will get uh, very pleased by the offering of Somras. Apart from whatever are the other offerings which are done, you're chanting the mantras, the Havan Samagri, the Navadhanya and Samit sticks, all that which is offered. Apart from that, the Somras. So Indra himself used to come and drink, and he would feel very elated, delighted with that. um, because it is duly offered by Raja Gaya with great reverence and in a spirit of pure and unflinching devotion. Then he says that by propitiating the Lord, the entire creation from Brahma to the other gods to the men, subhuman species of animals as well as plants, including the smallest blade of grass, is at once gratified. And Bhagwan Vishnu himself is very pleased. See that. The Lord, the soul of the universe, who is ever pleased, all blissful by nature, himself felt palpably gratified at the sacrificial performance of Gaya. Vishnu Bhagwan is the Yajnapati. If he is satisfied, and he is the Lord of the universe. So if Bhagwan is satisfied, everybody in the universe will be satisfied. That much punya he will also get, Raja Gaya. Now, why this was explained? We are seeing the lineage of Priyavrata Raja. In that, so many great kings. Priyavrata himself was great. What he did, we saw. Then we saw about Agnidhar, Nabhi, then Rishabdev, then Bharat Raja, now this Gaya Raja. And see the detailing that is given here. This is our history. So many of these names we don't even know. And it's not that these are things only in the as stories. These are things which are historical. These are kings who have lived, who names are there, wives are there, children are given the names. Country is named Bharat behind such a great king Bharat. And it is mentioned here that Bharat, after whom the country was named Bharat, we saw that in the Charitra Bharat Raja. So this is our history. I'm not saying only this is our history. There are other parts also, but this is also history. This is not mythology. And this is not just history. What is our history today of the history that we have of the world is hardly 4,000-5,000 years old history we have. And creation is so ancient. Science today says 13.2 billion years. Our history is 5,000 years. And if we think that alone is history, that is our stupidity. And what records are available to us? All these are which are available to us. If somebody says, no, this is imagination of Vedavyasji, he wrote it down here. He wrote it down in many of these Puranas. So many cross references are there. It is not that he is sitting and imagining and writing anything at top of his head. He is an avatar of Vishnu Bhagwan himself, all-knowing, omniscient, Supreme Lord, Chiranjeevi now. So he has written, one should have that Shraddha ki yes, this is there. So, one aspect is to understand that. Second aspect also is to know how these great kings were and how they ruled, and how many of those qualities we can even apply today, we can imbibe today. Wherever the king has these qualities, whatever they were mentioned earlier, you see the prosperity in that country as well as the balance of prosperity and happiness. How many beautiful qualities were given? Pious king who is equipped with transcendental knowledge, gives protection to the secure citizens, ensures that he nourishes them with proper, there's enough food for everybody, distributes gifts to them, conducts meetings. All these points that we saw are such great qualities of a leader. This is how one should be as a king, one should be as a leader of any team, even in a family, anywhere. There's so many beautiful things to learn and apply. Many of these are universal principles which will be applicable even today. It's not that, oh, only at that time it was. One can adapt it even today, and because that those are universal principles of yajna bhavana, of putting others first, of serving selflessly, anchoring in the humility that I am not this body, I am infinite consciousness, and Bhagavan is the doer. If all those things one applies, one will see the results even today. So that is the reason. Now, further it continues here, this chapter. I'm going to continue this sharing here. So Gaya Raja and his wife Gayanti, to them three children. So Chitraratha, Sugati, and Avarodhana. Now Chitraratha and Urna, to them is born Samrat. Samrat and his wife Utkala. To them is born Marichi. To Marichi and then his wife Bindumati is born this Bindu and Saragha. To them Madhu and Sumana. To them is Viravrata and Bhoja. So Viravrata and Bhoja, to them Manthu and Pramanthu. Now Manthu and Satya, to them Bhavana, and then to Bhavana and Dushana are born Tvashta and Viraja. To Tvashta and Virochana, no children, but to Viraja and Vishuchi, one daughter, and Shatajit plus 99 sons. You see that? So, Prayavratam Vamshamimam Virajash Charamodbhavaha Akarod Atyalam Kirtya Vishnu Suraganam Yatha. So that's the last line in this particular chapter, which means that Viraja, the last born in the line, adorned this race of Priyavrata by his glory, even as Lord Vishnu brought glory to the gods in the form of Vamana. So this chapter of lineage of Priyavrata ends here, and then 16th chapter we see. If you remember, it was said that Priyavrata Raja rode on his chariot and divided this Bhumandala into 7 continents. So about that, Parikshit Raja now asks to Shukadevji. So the 16th chapter starts with that you have described the extent of this terrestrial globe as covering the whole range. Now we have to understand this. The objective of Parikshit Raja is not to understand geography. He is going to drop his body. He has 7 days in hand. In that, some 2-3 days would have passed by now. So he is not bothered about asking now where is which mountain and which continent and which ocean and all that. the objective we have to understand is to have the Bhagavad Bhav in the entire Srishti and to see the Srishti as the appearance of the Divine Lord. So that when our senses are engaged, we are seeing Bhagwan around us. When we have withdrawn the senses, we are meditating, we see Bhagwan as our true self. So inside and outside, we see the same divine truth. How do we see that truth outside? So when we understand that this whole creation has come from Bhagwan, cause alone appears as the effect. So he is now asking about the creation with this bhavna. One should not forget that. Otherwise, one will get lost saying, ki, where is this today? And we start trying to draw parallels between what is written here and what is there now. Some parallels we may find, no doubt, but we won't find exact parallels. That everything here is as it is because many things have changed in time and many things are explained for a different purpose. It's not meant for uh, just the physical description of what is here and what is there presently. It's not meant for that. It is meant for making our mind think of all these and come away from materialistic thinking, from the insecurities, from the pleasure seeking, and think of this vast universe. In this vast universe, who am I? And what is my true nature by itself? That I have forgotten this infinite nature of mine and I'm thinking of myself as one small little jiva. So this vastness of the universe and different lokas and different planes of consciousness which are given in the scriptures, they are meant for a different reason altogether. They are meant for us to realize our insignificance. They are meant for us to realize what is our true nature. They are meant for us to know that life doesn't end with this body. There are various planes of existence. Apart from this Bhumandala, Bhuloka, there are so many up and down. And the Jiva will go through all these. And what is the objective of knowing that? That how long will you keep going round and round in this cycle of creation when your true self is infinite consciousness? Seek that, realize that, and human body is the best opportunity for that. It is for that purpose that this is given. And we get fascinated, then we want to compare and physically where is it today? And what will be the state in Suvarloka, then Maharloka, then Janaloka, then Tapoloka, and do Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha really exist? Are they there in this Bhuvarloka around us everywhere? And how to see them? Naturally, see, curiosity may be there and scriptures are saying something, then we want to explore and understand more. But we should remember that the objective of explaining this is not to make us more curious about the material world. It is for us to be able to see the divine everywhere. It is for us to see the nature of samsara, finite nature of samsara, and to get vairagya, that even if you get the best of pleasures, where you don't have to work hard, you go to heaven and your desire is fulfilled even without moving an arm. Even in such a place, Indra will still have his insecurities, anger issues, and so many challenges are there. That if a devata like Indra who has done 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, even that devata gets insecure. He has more power than human being, no doubt, but he also gets insecure. They also keep fighting with the asuras. There's a power struggle there also. So the more one understands all this, the more it should generate vairagya. So one is to see something and limit ourselves to only the physical perception of it. Other is to see the deeper reasoning behind it. And third is to know the philosophical implication of that. Parikshit Raja is more interested in the philosophical implication of it to see the divine everywhere. And so here he says to Shukdev ji, because he had heard in this fifth canto, first chapter, when Priyavrat Raja's description was given, there in this 31st paragraph, it was said that he created these islands by riding his chariot, these oceans and seven islands were created by this chariot, the wheels of Priyavrata. So now he inquires about those. So he says that you spoke about Bhumandala, which extends as far as the sun shines and as far as the moons and the stars can be seen. Now please remember, Bhumandala it is, not Bhumi. Now we should not mistake Bhumandala to be Bhumi. And then you say, how can the earth extend up to the sun? The earth will get burnt. It is not talking about earth as one planet. It is talking about Bhumandal, this plane of consciousness. So this Bhumandal is as far as the sun and as far as this moon and the stars can be seen, meaning this plane of consciousness. That's all. So the rolling wheels of Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches in Bhumandala, which became 7 oceans. So Bhumandala is huge. In that Bhumi is one. On that Bhumi, this chariot is going around, had gone around, and that created the 7 divisions, dividing into 7 islands. Now I desire to know the measurements and the qualities of those oceans and islands. Now if somebody thinks that, why does he want to know measurement? See the purpose. Now that becomes very clear. That purpose we should know. And so what is the purpose? Purpose is when focused on the Lord's gross material form in the shape of this universe, the mind becomes fit to be concentrated on the subtle, which is hard to perceive, immaterial, self-effulgent and transcendent Brahman, known by the name of Vasudeva. Therefore, please describe the same to me, O preceptor. That is the purpose. See, the last line here, third line in the 16th chapter says, Bhagavato Gunamaye. The Lord, who is full of the gunas, when we see the creation, is full of the gunas. Sthula Rupa. The Sthula Rupa is full of gunas. Bhagavan is Gunatita by himself. But using the power of his Maya, he becomes Ishvara and then he manifests as the creation. So Maya is Gunamayi. So the creation also has gunas everywhere. So that is the Sthula Rupa Bhagavan. Aveshitam Mano Hi Agune. If we look at this Gunamaya Samsar as the form of Bhagavan, then our mind can think about Agunamaya, Agunepi, the one who is beyond gunas and one who is Sukshma. And that Lord, Bhagavata, is Atma Jyotishi Pare, is the supreme transcendental truth, which is our own true self. Brahmani, Bhagavati Vasudevakhi, and that very supreme Lord is Bhagavan Vasudeva. So Brahman, Atman, Vasudeva, Virat, this universe, all are one. That's the indication. He wants to know that the purpose of seeing the creation, knowing about the creation and understanding it as divine is to experience this state of oneness, that infinite Brahman where there is no creation, who is Agune, who is Agunepi was said, right? Who is beyond gunas. That using the power of Maya has become this Gunamaya Samsar. So Ishvara and this Virat Roop. And that alone is Vasudeva. Is manifested as the avatar of Krishna. So he says, Pare Brahmani Bhagavati Vasudevakhe Kshamam Aveshitum Tadu Havai Tadu Haitad Guroho Arhasi Anuvarnayitum Iti. So you please tell me the extent of various dimensions and various oceans and this land, etc., so that I have this bhav that whatever is there in this Srishti is divine. So now Shukdev ji starts the description. So what does he say? That first of all, nobody can understand this. See, how much ever expert one may be, the Srishti itself is Ananta. One may experience one aspect of it through any such science like physics or biology or whatever, chemistry or mathematics or anything, art, literature, any of that. One small aspect only one can understand, explore. A whole Srishti is impossible to explore and understand and comprehend. So he says, no man, O great king, can ever succeed in ascertaining with his mind, much less describing, the full extent of the vast display in the form of universe set up by the gunas of the Lord's Maya. Even if he strives for a whole lifetime of devatas, not human lifetime, lifetime of devatas, even that long life, even attempts, one will not know. That also indicates his own humility. He doesn't say, yeah, I know everything, I'm omniscient, I will tell you. See, and these are realized beings, Shukdevji and all are enlightened beings. They are saying no man can explain, meaning even I can't explain. So what he says, therefore we propose to discuss at length only the salient features of the terrestrial globe with the name, position, extent and characteristics of various subdivisions. Only some part one can explain. See, even Bhagwan himself, Krishna Bhagwan himself, Vasudeva himself, what did he say in the 10th chapter in the Gita? Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam Srimad urjitam evava tattadeva avagachatvam mama teja amsha sambhavam. He said, whatever vibhutis are there in this whole world, of which he described some 75, 80 in the 10th chapter, he says that is only one amsha, mama teja amsha sambhavam, one small, like a speck, in the huge conflagration of fire, one small spark, that much is the whole creation and its vibhutis. Bhagwan himself said that. Then what about anybody else? Nobody can explain the entire creation with its vastness as, comprehensively. One can only do some one part. So he says we will explore only of this terrestrial globe, of this particular earth only. Otherwise the rest of the creation and all we can't comprehend. We may send some, Voyager 1 is the instrument that has gone the farthest in the space till now. And that Voyager 1 has gone to some, to the interstellar space and all, it has gone now. It has crossed those boundaries and it has reached interstellar space. And it took some 8 years and 6 requests by Carl Sagan to turn this Voyager towards the Earth. The camera of the Voyager is going like this away from the Earth. Then to turn it and to take a picture of the Earth. Those are legendary pictures. If you do research, you will find. Massive. Earth is like one small little dot from that billions of light years away. One small little dot it is in this whole creation. That also is not whole. From that distance it took. So the point is this, that this entire creation though is impossible. He says on this terrestrial globe, on this earth, we will see about that. Bhugola Vishesham is the word used. Only Bhuloka. Bhugolaka Vishesham. This Bhugolaka. That much only we will be able to explain, not the whole Bhumandala. So Bhugolaka and Bhumandala, that we have to know clearly the difference. Bhugolaka is the earth. Bhumandala is this whole creation. This plane of consciousness, physical, which you and I can perceive through the senses, that is only Bhugolaka Vishesha, Nama Rupa, Nama Rupa Mana Lakshanato Vyakhyasamaha. That we will be able to explain. Then he says, Yova Ayam Dvipaha Kuvalaya Kamala Koshabhyantara Kosho Niyuta Yojana Vishalaha Samavartulo Yatha Pushpaka, Yatha Pushkara Patram, like a lotus. He says this particular Dvipa, which is inhabited by us, it represents the innermost of the 7 sheets of the lotus like terrestrial globe with a diameter of 1 lakh yojanas, which is 8 lakh miles. 1 yojana is 8 miles. So 1 lakh yojanas is 8 lakh miles. And round in shape like the corolla of a lotus. In this dvipa are comprised 9 varshas. Jambu Dvipa this is. Jambu Dvipa has 9 varshas. What are these 9 varshas? And each 9,000 yojanas, so 72,000 miles in extent. Clearly divided by 8 mountain ranges which form their natural boundaries. So in the middle of these continents stands the inner varsha called Ilavarta, at the center of which is situated the king of all mountain ranges, that is Meru or Sumeru, entirely consisting of gold and possessing a height equal to the extent of the Dvipa, 1 lakh yojana. Now don't think that there's a mountain of gold. Where is it on the earth today? And some people say Kailash only is the Meru. As I told you, don't try to make physical comparisons of what is given here with what exists today. It's not meant for that. Some parallels one can draw, but exact parallels is not possible because the yugas also are different. Which yuga Parikshit Raja is beginning of this Kali Yuga. But this description he is giving is of the yuga, is of the time of Priyavrata Raja. Shukdev ji is explaining about Priyavrata Raja. How many generations have passed after that and which yuga that is. So there's a Bheda, yuga Bheda is there. So many things have changed in that. Certain things are not physically visible, they become invisible. So we have to understand this from that context. Now don't try to map everything. So here, that's why he says, so it has diameter of, it forms a pericarp of the lotus-like terrestrial globe and has a diameter of 32,000 yojanas, 256,000 miles at the top, and only 16,000 yojanas, 128,000 miles at the foot. This is the Sumeru mountain, made of gold, with its root lying under the earth's surface to a depth of 16,000 yojanas. That is to say, the mountain is only 84,000 yojanas high above earth's surface. To the north of Ilavarta are situated one after the other the 3 mountain ranges called Nila, Shweta and Shringavan, severally forming the boundaries of the Varshas, bearing the name Ramyaka, Hiranmaya and Kuru, and extending east and west as far as the salt ocean, 2,000 yojanas, 16,000 miles wide, and every exterior range being shorter in length alone by a little over 1/10 of the next interior range, but equal in height and breadth. Like that, this whole description will go. This chapter has so much of description of various, khandas, various parts of this Bhu Mandala, of this Bhuloka. But today I'm going to stop here because this is going to continue. Quite a long description is here. You can read this chapter where you will find all this. Description is very vast. There's so many different Vartas and Sumeru mountain and what is north of Ilavarta and what is south of Ilavarta and the east of Ilavarta and the west of Ilavarta. All that is given here. Some more is there with that we will take up in our next class. But you can read this beforehand. This translation, it becomes more easier to understand. today we stop here. Anybody has any questions? We will take up after the Mandala Arati is over. मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की मंगल सिर चंद्रिका अमृत मंगल छवि नयन मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की मंगल अति कटि रे पठि मंगल चितल मंगल मंगल शोभा कमल मंगल माधुर्य भृगुत मंगल मंगल श्रीरण मंगल मंगल चरण मंगल शरणि भक्ति हरिजन मंगल जुगल मंगल श्री राधा मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम मंगल प्रीति मंगल राधा कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नीमा विद्युतो भांजितो यम अग्नि तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की। Okay. Yes, Vaishali, please ask.
Hari Om Swamiji. Can you please re-explain on why did Parikshit Maharaj want to know that geographical description about it? Yeah.
So he himself says that he wants to know the expression of the Supreme Lord in this whole creation. So that Supreme Lord, who is Nirgun Nirakar, has, using his power of Maya, created this whole universe. So he says, Agunepi, Mayaya, then all that description is there, that how we become Gunavan. So when we live in the world, we are seeing things only as, the names and forms that we see. But we don't see the divinity, which is the basis of all this. And everything is appearance of the divine. So when we see only names and forms, there will be raga and dvesha, we will get attachment and aversions will get created. And our body identification will get strengthened. So he wants to know the oneness, that what I see inside as the Supreme Brahman is the same Lord who is manifesting outside as the creation, is the same Lord who has manifested as the Supreme Lord in the form of Krishna, Vasudeva.
Mm.
He says, I want to see the experience that oneness. So you please explain to me. So that whenever I am seeing the creation, I will see divinity. Whenever I go within and withdraw, I will experience divinity. So that's his purpose, to see the oneness between Jiva, Brahman, and this Srishti. Jiva Jagat Ishvara.
Okay. Just like we also in Vibhuti Yoga of Bhagavad Gita see, I mean, in all the mountains, I am this Himalaya, like that. How? So we also see the divinity like that. That's the same explanation. Okay.
Say, but there he begins by explaining, in all mountains I'm Himalaya. So when I see Himalaya, I should have Bhagavad Bhav.
Mm.
I can extend it to all other mountains.
Mm.
Like that. So there's vibhutis are given specifically so that we have the same experience of oneness. Here he explains about the creation and various khandas and all that. And that also brings humility, saying that creation is so vast and what ego am I having? I'm the king of
Correct.
this, like Rahugana had, no?
Correct.
That way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.